If you are widowed and you are struggling with loneliness, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Dion. This is the Bounce Back Widow channel, and here we help widows learn to live well after loss. Make sure you stay tuned till after the video, all the way to the end, so that you can get the free gift that I have for you in this video. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so I'll know to send you all the updates that are coming up soon. Let's get into it. Nobody talks about what it's like when the house is completely quiet, when, either your kids are asleep or not home, and it's just you and the space that used to be alive with his presence, right? When I was first widowed, I moved back home with my parents. It was because I could not bear to be in my house by myself without him. Like, that house was a symbol of something we had built together, we had saved for. It was a project, that house, that we had put everything into and were finally able to afford and had been in for about maybe 3 years. And all of that felt like it was up in smoke because I could not go back. So I went to my parents' house, and at my parents' house, it still felt alone. It still felt lonely. They had their own lives, and my kids, I was autopilot parenting, so it was everything I could do to just get them on their way. Oh, I'm packing their lunch. Oh, I'm packing them in the car. Oh, I'm got the radio on while we're in the car to distract them and have them busy and not bickering and get them off to school. And then I would sit in the house. When I moved out of my parents' house, I was there for about a year. I could not live with my parents. I felt like a returned mail order bride. That's how I described it in my book that I put out a couple of years later. But I just felt so like out on a limb and abandoned, and not by my family, but just by my life that I had handpicked and crafted to be for us. I felt left out of all of those plans, like the plans just fell through. So I moved out. And when I moved out, I moved into my own townhouse, and I was renting it, and I would sit there. At that time, I had actually been laid off of my job, and so I was just home, literally staring into space, listening to the echoes. And the loneliest part about that is it took my brain a while to catch up with my heart. My heart was feeling like, oh, this pain, oh, this echoing silence, oh, this weight from him being gone. But my brain was still struggling with trying to accept this as a reality, right? For example, I would, be scrolling on social media and see something that he would think is funny. Immediately, my knee-jerk brain reaction was, oh, I would love to see what he's going to say, or, oh, he's going to think this is so funny. Let me get my phone and, oh, yeah, he's not there. Not only is he not there, but he's not alive. So the things that I'm experiencing now, I'm experiencing them super alone. I'm experiencing them not just alone, but without him alone. Because before him, I was alone. But this after him alone it felt hollow, it felt echoey, it felt worse. So that's the kind of home silences I mean. And the way I began to combat it was I started to really get tired, really get sick and tired of feeling this pity party. I would call friends and they would not get it. They would come over and try to cheer me up. And for that day, I could be distracted. But even when, it's almost time for them to leave, like the body is keeping the score. It's like, you're about to be in your alone spaces again. It's about to be bedtime for the kids, through their routines and get them in the bed, and then the house will be silent again. What are you going to do? And the anxiety of anticipating the silence used to really get me. Some of the gentle ways I began reintroducing like life into those quiet spaces is deciding how I wanted to spend those quiet times. While I wanted to get into prayer, I wanted to get into meditation, I wanted to get into things that were good for my mental health and my physical health. At the time, I really just did not have the energy for it. It wasn't like a physical, did I have the hype up energy? It was the mental energy. I did not have the, let me go and newness. I just didn't have it. The loneliness hit me the hardest at bedtime. It was the time where everything was the quietest, everything was the stillest, and my anxiety was the highest. I was worried about being the only adult in the house, having to basically karate whatever came in, and listening to all the sounds, and missing having a husband to do that, and having him be the man of the house, and have that responsibility, and realizing what a burden it was without him being there. And so gentle ways I was reintroducing things into my life, or was to, it's almost going to sound funny, but I've got a Tinder account. This is so taboo. No one's going to understand, so I can't share it with anybody. So the only person that knew that I was doing this was my sister, because at the time she was saying, go on Tinder, it's fine. And I was there under a fake name. I was not going out with anybody from there. I was just swiping. It was my very small way of looking out through a window at the world. It was when the kids are in bed and I am staring at the ceiling, ears full of tears, like, where is my other half? Sleeping diagonally, because I just had to take up a different space in the bed. And in that space, I was doing little things like swiping on the Tinder, finding cartoons that I was able to fall asleep to, because I was also a massive insomniac, right? Eventually, I did graduate from from Tinder. I did actually start listening to audiobooks. That was one thing that I got into because the kids were into it. It was part of the busyness of the day. I would put on audiobooks so that they weren't always on their tablets or bickering back and forth, just being brothers, and we would treat it like it was part of, the perks of driving places. And so that we really read, in the 6 years that I was solo parenting, we wound up reading about 100 audiobooks. It's crazy. And, using a little Audible app, we did that. And it was such a cool thing to get into, because it took up the space. And so when we talk about combating loneliness in gentle ways, we're not necessarily talking about getting rid of the loneliness. We're not necessarily talking about pretending it's not there, or doing something that makes it not there to transform it into something else. We're actually talking about filling the space. It took me a while to begin my yoga practice, to begin journaling, or to begin meditation, or even to venture outside the house and start doing things that weren't just busyness, but things that were speaking to who I am outside of the home life. Some other things could include having a pet, getting out a journal if it doesn't, if it's not too much for you. Finding one show that you can fall asleep on, that something I saw that was really interesting to me later, 100 years later, like now that I'm 15 years out, and have a certain show that I watch all the time and never really knew why. Like, I'm totally going to watch this show over and over and over again, regardless of how many times I've seen it. There are certain neural pathways that are created when you are comfortable. And knowing the outcome of these shows that you're watching over and over again makes you feel comfortable. And it creates a dopamine effect in your brain and calms you and makes you feel at home and familiar. So you're not focused on being lonely. You're in the storyline. You're knowing what to expect, even if you can watch it with your eyes closed. For me, the show is supernatural. I could watch Dean do all of the things every day forever, rolled up in a little burrito, and watch all the episodes all the time. It is my happy place. It is my comfort zone. And finding something like that, to just have that little bit of dopamine, to have that little bit of you time, that slice of, this is just for me. This is so indulgent. This is not a spa day. It doesn't, make me feel guilty because the kids are asleep. I'm already done all the things I need to do. This is my little reward for the day. That little beginning is the first step to creating your next best version of you. It might not seem like it, but this is the type of self-care that matters. These small steps, paying attention to what pulls out that dopamine, paying attention to what gives you the joy and gives you the comfort, and paying attention to how you feel anticipating those times and how you feel when it's over. Let you know whether or not this is something that can be your go-to as you lean into soothing yourself in those quiet spaces at home. One other thing I wanted to say is the silence of being in your home alone is, I think, enunciated by the moments that you're missing, the small moments that you don't really think about and you didn't really think about before until now they're different. Being in the kitchen together, just passing each other, just little moments that you don't realize are such a big part of your life, them being gone, it's almost like the silence is deafening. And that is a reminder, whether you are conscious of it or not, it's a constant reminder that you are alone. And so that is going to definitely add to, or at least highlight, the loneliness. So if you're really feeling like it's hitting you harder than anyone else, or it's hitting you harder than ever in your life, or this isn't normal, that it's hitting you so hard, please know that this amplified loneliness is absolutely normal. While your heart is healing and mending, your brain is trying to wrap itself around this new reality. So please give yourself space and grace, and remember the little ways in which we talked about, or in which I talked about. Maybe try them out for yourself. I hope this was helpful for you. I'll catch you in the next one. This loneliness series is when people don't get it. We're going to be talking about people in your circle, people outside in the public and in the wild, how they just aren't getting your loneliness, and how it's really making things difficult for you to cope outside the house. I'm Maya Dion. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. You stayed till the end, so you get the free gift. Our free gift for this video is the Next You Widow Network group. You get a free trial, free for 7 days. It's our private membership community for widowed women who are ready to move from just surviving to intentionally rebuilding and thriving. Inside the network, members receive monthly live sessions, coaching, and real talk for real life widowhood. Prayer and devotionals, mini courses, giveaways, exclusive discounts. This is ongoing sisterhood, and you don't have to do it alone. Whether you're newly grieving or years past your loss and wondering what's next, this is your place to land, grow, and rise. I'll see you there.